Morning people. So this is my own car and it's awful. Look at that dirty engine. This is our Isabella, which some of you will have seen before, and she's been off the road for about 6 months because we've just been too busy to MOT her, etc. She needed some light upgrades and a telltale on the fog light, which became mandatory on the MOTs kind of last January-ish. So a little bit different for us. On starting her up and getting her through the MOT, which was nothing short of a miracle as she sat so long, I found that she was taking absolutely ages to warm up. And one of the culprits, the usual go-to culprit on the BMW Z3, is the top air intake pipe, which you'll see here. What tends to happen is over time they perish and rot. So if you do have a straight six BMW, actually in fact the four pots are exactly the same, but you particularly notice it on the 6 cylinders that you'll find she might be running a bit lumpy. Don't panic and take it to the garage and spend loads of money, ladies. You actually can just change this. You can buy a secondary pipe, a non-OEM one, which will do the job for about £12 to £20. But because this is our show car when she's clean, I opted for the BMW one. Now with our trade discount, it was about £50, but you can expect to pay about £60 with VAT. It's a really, really simple fit. It's two screws on the Jubilee clip, flathead screwdriver, off, back on again. But after that, I'm also going to put a cone filter on this one just to liven her up a little bit. So here we have again our 2.8 straight six 1997 Isabella, which is based on a BMW Z3 standard straight six engine. And today, really, really simple thing, I'm going to be removing the airbox and the intake pipe, which I touched on earlier. This is the pipe out of its packet, and the areas where mine are perished are here, which is completely rotten, and just down here, and then she's split there. So by changing this, you'll have a massive difference. Really, really simple. You can take this part out without removing everything, but to be honest with you, it's an absolute ball ache and it's a real pain. So we have a clip to the side here. There's one already missing on this one. There should be 2, so just to make you aware. And she will just lift out if I'd unscrewed it properly. And it is literally as simple as that. There's the existing airbox. Secondary part, unscrewing the MAF sensor, keep it nice and tidy and clean, make sure you don't damage it. Jubilee clip number 1. And put this to one side. Jubilee clip number 2. And have a little look at this. This is what you're looking for. Now, we gaffed this the other day, I'll be honest, because I had a meeting in Coventry and I had to get there. She was fine once she was warmed up, but that's the issue. You can see how rotten that is. It's just splitting. Also, if I take the gaffer off here, which does work as a temporary solution, I'll be honest with you, but please don't think it's permanent. She's cracked all the way through. Now, dispose of that. If I show you the new one, you'll see, because we've bought the BMW part, it is really nice quality, to be honest. So if you can, spend the money on that. I'll just grab my other Jubilee. Make sure that you reuse your Jubilee clips. Don't waste them, guys, unless they're completely rusted. And then we have, so right down here, you see this little pop straight on. It's a little bit fiddly, but it's not too bad. Now I can notice looking here now that that hose isn't great, so we'll change that at some point because it's a little bit perished. So I paused the camera for a couple of minutes so you didn't hear me using my colourful language, because when you do put the bottom of this pipe on, it can be a bit of an inertia fit, so we like a bit of lube. Works really well. Cheap and cheerful petroleum jelly, ladies. You do not need to buy expensive Vaseline, but if you've got it, you know, for the sake of the fact this is a lady video, in your handbag, sorry. So in order to do this, I did a couple of little sensible things. I'm used to fitting these. They're really easy for me. They're not going to be as easy if you don't do them every day. So we moved all of the cables across, just out the way, the MAF sensor cable and these little fellas. So we're going to clip those back in. This will be a similar process for all cars, but there are obviously going to be slightly different areas where things are placed. So back one here, Jubilee clip on, Jubilee clip tied up nice and tight. And as you screw it, as you can see, it tightens up. massively. But do make sure that you've got good contact all the way round as you go. And then on the front, we're putting the MAF sensor in the box back on. Nice and simple, get it straight. And again, Jubilee clip, making sure it's facing upwards so you've got easy access next time. With my wobbly hands. God. Don't try this if you've got arthritis. And, although I do. And again, nice and tight. You can see the Jubilee clip tightening up. Okay, once you've done that, make sure you're happy. MAF sensor back on. MAF sensors can be another reason why the engines run rough, but I think in this case it was fairly obvious that she's in a bad state. Right, what we're going to do today is I'm not putting the existing airbags box back on. I am very well aware of the pitfalls of pancake filters, or whatever you want to call them, or lampshades as this one looks and matches the car. However, this is a quick solution for us today because I have a crack in the bottom of that airbox, and we will be changing this for a slightly upgraded version in time. It's putting a strut bar across and making sure we've got an outflow pipe for the air, because you do need to make sure that's there, and that will go down and underneath. So for now, simplicity is, this is the filter. Comes with 3 little rubber bits. This is the best fit, and this will go onto here. So lampshade has her collar on. With this one, because it is a temporary fix, I'm just going to push her on. So we are very aware that the engine needs cold air intake. We're very aware that this little fella does that, and you can see, because this is the pipe that goes down the bottom, brings in the cold air, and otherwise you've got warm air circulating here, which isn't great for the engine in the long term, but also may impede the performance very slightly. So to that end, we will be making a convoluted system, because we love doing things like that, with some support for which will be actually a larger cone filter, and also a system of pipe work to go down to bring in as much cold air as possible to improve the performance of the vehicle. So it really is that simple. As an aside, ladies, and this is an easy one for you, when you go to have your car serviced, most of that stuff you can actually do at home yourself. The thing is, the oil service, it's a messy process, it's a pain in the arse, and you really, really ought to have it up on a ramp, because jacks aren't as safe as they should be. Yes, we use them, it's our own garage, I lay under cars with jacks, it's not an issue for me. Not something you want to be doing at home, even if you've got axle stands. So there are various parts to the service. The oil service, let someone else do it and stamp the book, you've still got a service in the book. When it comes to the air filter, inside this box is the air filter, and it is as simple as that. They'll be slightly different on different cars, but if I can get the bloody thing open, you are literally, a lot of them unclip from the top in a sort of flat motion, but you're literally opening it up. There's the air filter. This is what normally helps to filter any crap that comes into the car as it pours air in. Lots of things, leaves, rubbish, dust, gunk, pollutants, bits from the road, salt and rubbish, and anything that's really mixed in, anything at all that flies up. You can see this one's actually, believe it or not, it's not that bad, but it's a good couple of years old. So you can see all the dirt and the dust filling up on it. I found bees' wings in these before as well. So by changing that, you'll greatly help the performance of the car. So just know, you do not have to pay a fortune for this. This will cost you between £10 and £30, depending on the model of your vehicle, and is a really easy change. So after that somewhat simple job, all that remains now, just to see and just to test if it was the air intake pipe causing the main problems, is just to start her up and see if that horrible idler's gone. She's